Good, yes, good for ya.
You got to give it up for the brother. He got it going on.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. It is Tuesday. Normally that means we're gonna dye some discs, or we are going to throw some skins, or whatever random video I want to do on a Tuesday. Yesterday, so today is actually Sunday that I'm filming. Yesterday I played out in Bremerton, Silverdale at a fairgrounds tournament, and my putting and my short game was completely off. Really bad round, and I couldn't get my head out of it, and it just got worse and worse as we went. A lot of random things were happening, and including some people walking through the park that got in arguments with players on the course and then took it out on everybody else. As a player, just try and avoid those things. Let the person pass, let them walk through, get them gone so we don't have to have any issues with any extra players. If you've experienced that, you understand what I'm talking about. But my putting was bad, and you know I think that I'm an okay putter. It's one of the things I work on more than anything else. So today we're going to go through a small warm-up routine that I would normally do, and maybe a little bit of putting practice that I would normally do at home. We're out here at Shelton Springs. We had some snow this weekend, so it was cold, it was wet, it was snowy yesterday as well. That could have contributed to some of my issues, but let's get right into it. We're going to do some putting practice and kind of talk about some things to get out of your head while you're playing a tournament and things aren't going right. So as you can see, I did bring a bunch of discs today. I have some pickles. I have some, what do we have? Pickles, bullets, Kratos, blue bonnets, all kinds of things in here. All I do generally when I start putting practice at my house, really not necessarily for a tournament, is I'm going to toss out all my discs to different spots. Give me a different look at each disc so that I'm not throwing a consistent putt. This is more, in my mind, this is more realistic to stepping up to a putt, taking that putt, and moving on to your next shot, versus when you take a pile of discs and stand in one spot and repeat your putt. Player 2 is great. Player 2 is not always great. So this more replicates player 1 than player 2. So we just step up to, in my opinion, the disc that's the closest to the basket. Grab on and shoot. No warm-up necessary, no pumps, nothing. You're just gonna grab that sucker, pick it up, and shoot. Always aiming for the post. If you can hit that post every time, your amount of left to right spit outs are going to be far less than what they would be otherwise. So that one was a little high. Not a fan of the high one, but we'll take it. There we go. Another part of moving fast here is you're not thinking about your putt, you're just putting it in. And I think that the less you have to think about it, there we have one miss, and that's okay. But the less you have to think about it, the easier it becomes. All right, so out of the discs, round 1, 2 misses, and those were the 2 long ones. That's fine. Let's give that another go, see what happens. Now, I'm well aware that that drill is not everyone's cup of tea. You like to stand in one spot. You like to bang them in back to back to back to back. So here's an option for that as well. What we're going to do is we're going to get us 10, 11 footer, 15, 20 footer, 30 footer, and we're going to shoot all the discs from those distances at the basket. Repeatable, same repeatable shot. That way, if you're missing left or right, you can correct yourself to the center and get to know what that feels like to throw that in. So here we have about that 10, 15 foot mark. The key to that drill, you want to make sure it's repeatable. I throw every disc exactly the same. I'm not going to tell you how to grip your disc. I'm not going to tell you how to aim your disc. I'm not going to tell you if you need spin or no spin. I try and line my hand up straight up and down with the post. I have a little bit of a spin putt right at it. It doesn't matter what distance I'm at, it generally works. The further I move back, the more to the right of the basket that I aim for to hopefully get it to crash in right to left. And here we're about that 15, 20 foot level. Same idea. Up and down, make everything repeatable. There we go. Nice and repeatable. Everything's the exact same. Again, you're just getting your body into that habit of throwing that putt. 15 to 20 feet. I was probably closer to 20 feet there. We're going to move out to edge of circle. As you saw, we made all of the short ones at both stages. It's a little tougher once you get edge of circle. It takes a little bit more focus, but I'm not going to change what I did. It's still going to be up, down, in. It's not a big warm-up. It's getting my body used to the repetition of that throw. And I would say this is about circle's edge. I don't recommend necessarily holding all your discs like that. You can set them down, pick them up one by one, but I like the repeatability. So here we go, edge of circle. I do think it is very important that all of the discs that miss, you put them in. Sometimes these short putts can be the downfall of your game if you get up here and you short it into the basket, get it high up into the band. So I will always put in all my putts no matter what. Now, the last thing I like to do in my putting warm-up or practice routine is I find an obstacle so that I can have a straddle putt of some kind. So we're gonna get behind this tree. I'm only, let's say, 10, 15 feet away, but I want to make sure that I'm in the habit of practicing at least the straddle putt. And then we'll take and do that from one more location. This time we'll lean out the opposite direction around a tree. And you can see it's okay to miss. Everything was mostly on target. I do have a harder time with that right straddle around a tree versus a left straddle around a tree. I don't know if the tree itself gets in my head or if it's just a harder shot. I really don't know, but that's when I practice it, that seems to be the issue. Last thing I do is practice a few random putts that may be utilitarian later on, such as turbos. We're gonna try a couple of turbos. The only discs that I really turbo with are the bullets, so we're gonna do it with the bullets. And just find yourself a comfortable distance. The first one's always pretty bad and wobbly, but this is utilitarian, of course, for going over a bush, something that you don't have a real good shot at it. It's hard for me to throw up and down like that, so I would much rather take a turbo at it and I'd have a better chance there. We'll give those one more go. And I don't really practice those from distance. I just want to make sure that I can have a 10, 15, 20 footer, at least have a look at it with my turbo bullet putts. Well, that's it. That's my putting routine. That's my practice putting routine. Tournaments, I'll usually take 2 or 3 discs up instead of, what do I have, 10 discs. I just want to make sure that I get some putts. I didn't do that yesterday. Things got in my head yesterday. I didn't slow down yesterday. I am a fairly quick putter when it comes to it. I'll generally take 1 or 2 pumps and I'm in. But if this was helpful, if you like what you saw, if you want to give it a shot, you want to come out and play with me, do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Again, if you like it, let me know, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye.